Today we'll be talking about warm and cool colors. If you are looking at a color wheel, you have primary, secondary, and intermediate colors. The primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. The secondary colors are orange, green, and violet. And the intermediate colors are the colors in between the primary and secondary colors, which are yellow orange, yellow green, blue violet, red violet, red orange. You can find the warm and cool colors by dividing the color wheel in half. So if you were to take a ruler, and divide the color wheel in half, we could divide it in half this way, to where you have red, orange, and yellow as warm colors. If you think about fire, the warm colors are red, yellow, and orange, and then the intermediate colors that fall in between there. And then the cool colors are green, blue, and purple, or violet. Now, sometimes people divide it this way, to where you have green, blue, violet, and red violet. And sometimes people divide it this way, to where you have yellow green, blue violet, and violet. Okay, so sometimes people consider red violet as a warm color, and sometimes they consider red violet as a cool color, and sometimes people consider yellow green as a warm color, and sometimes it's considered as a cool color. Okay, definitely you're going to have yellow, orange, and red as warm colors, and green, blue, and violet as cool colors. You can see in this image here, the image is divided in half. Half of this image has warm colors, and half of this image has cool colors. Black and white are not considered colors in color theory. Black and white are shades and tints, so they can be used in either side. So you can see that the black runs across to both sides of this image, and that is okay because it is not a color. You can see that black and white do not appear on the color wheel because they are not colors, they are shades and tints. They change the value, they do not change the color. Okay, so you'll see over here that the artist used yellows, yellow oranges, red oranges, and reds. Okay, over here the artist used violets, greens, blues, and then also a yellow green. So they added yellow green into the cool side, which means that if they were to use red violet, it will go over here on the warm side. This image is divided into two different sections, to where the sky is warm colors and everything that is not the sky is cool colors. So you have warm colors in the sky, and then the buildings and the ground are cool color. This one here, they did the same thing. They have warm colors in the sky and cool colors on the ground. This one, they use warm colors to the left and cool colors to the right. You'll notice that in this image, they used yellow green as a cool color, and they used red violet as a warm color. For this project, you can choose to use colored pencils, like the example here, or you could use watercolors, like the rest of these examples. These examples used watercolor. For my project, I am going to use watercolors. But if you were to use colored pencils, you can blend colors just the same way as you can with the watercolors. Okay, so notice this image here where she used colored pencils. The colors can blend together. You can use more than one color pencil in a space to get these gradients. These colors are very well mixed, so you can do that with colored pencils in the same way you can with watercolor. But I'm going to choose to use watercolor. In my image, instead of dividing my paper from left to right, I'm going to divide it from sky and ground. Okay, so with my watercolors here, I have different colors. I have different size paintbrushes, and I'm going to use a larger paintbrush in the sky because I have larger sections that I need to fill, and trying to fill those with a smaller paintbrush, you're going to get lots of paint strokes, which I might want later, but to start out with, I'm going to try to cover it as much as possible with my larger paintbrush. I traced over my buildings with a Sharpie, and Sharpies do really well with watercolor because they don't bleed. You can see that most of my buildings have a change in value where there's a darker side and a lighter side, so that it looks like the sun is on one side of the buildings and not the other. And to create this effect, you need to be able to change the value of your colors. Changing the value of your colors is not changing the color, but only changing how light or dark it is. This can be done with shades and tints, like white and black. It can also be done by using complementary colors. Orange is the complement to blue. So by adding orange to the blue, it will make it a darker, it will change a darker blue. It will change the value. When using watercolors, you can change the value by adding more or less water. If you add more water, it will make the color lighter in value. If you add less water and more paint, then it will make it darker in value. And you can see I use both techniques on these buildings. Here, I added the complementary color to this green, which is red. I added some red to create this darker value of green. Here I added some orange to make this side of the building slightly darker than this side of the building, a very small amount of orange. The orange being the complement to blue. Once the project has dried, you can come back in and add more details with your colored pencils.